peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. Today, I have a special guest in the house. His name is Chris Tauzin. He is, he was running for District 5 St. Martin Parish Council, but you are elected, but you are currently the Parish Councilman of District 5. Chris, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man, for having me here today.
Man, you ran unopposed. Is this the first time that's happened, or?
No, I ran twice before I actually got elected. I ran 2 times and unsuccessful. The third time when I finally got in and everything, I went out there and I worked hard and did what I could for my district and all. And I was fortunate enough that the first go round I ran unopposed. Nobody ran against me.
Ah.
So this time here, this is my last and final term because you can only serve 3 terms, and I didn't have anybody to run against me. So I was one of 2 mean Councilman David Portier will go unopposed this time. So this will be my last go round.
Man, you, Sheriff Beckett, and Chad Boyer, y'all all ran unopposed. Yeah. So I got a question. I asked Chad this when he was with us the other day. How did it feel that last day of qualifying? Did you think somebody was going to magically pop up, or were you still cutting grass, or what was it?
I was still working and everything, and I was, I'm not gonna say I wasn't thinking about it, because, but I'm gonna tell you, as much I enjoyed doing the job and serving the people and all, man, it's really a blessing to go out there and meet people of the parish and the community. And with the redistricting and everything, it kind of changed my district around. I don't have Catahoula, Ayla Bay, Catahoula Cove, Anns Broussard Highway. I lost all that, everything across the interstate. But I picked up from Burbridge High School all the way to Papi Guidry Road. I picked up the rest of Grand Ball Road from the bridge all the way back to the fire station. And I was able to pick up the Butler Rose community, which I was really happy about because a lot of things in Butler Rose I think that we could work on and try to improve over there and help those people and just get more things done. So in a way, I'm not telling you I wasn't disappointed that I didn't have anybody run against me, but I'll tell you what I am planning on doing is going out and meet those people in my district that are new to my district and just kind of building relationships with them, let them know what's going on and just try to, see what the needs are right there and see what we can do to help those people. But the last day, it was pretty satisfying to know that the people have the faith and, it's definitely a blessing when, the people think you're doing a good enough job that you get to go unopposed. So.
Well, so I got a story. My dad always talks about running every so often. Mm-hmm. And he said, man, I think I'm going to run for parish council. And I looked at him and said, you sure you want to run? He's like, why? And I said, well, he goes, oh, no, I'm good. Chris is. So you're doing something right.
Yeah.
In talking about that, the people have faith in you that where nobody said, look, we don't even want to run because he's doing a good job. Tell us a little bit of what you've done in the 8 years that you've been in that seat.
Isaac, when I first got in there was a lot of needs in the parish and stuff, and they not neglect, but a lot of it was due to funding. And we first 3 months we in office, we had the 2016 floods.
Yep.
And it was pretty catastrophic in my district. I had a couple of communities in areas in my district where Bridgetown was one of them, but we had 86 houses and we had 63 houses that had water in them.
Wow.
One thing I learned, it doesn't matter if it's a foot of water or 10 feet of water, it's still water.
Yep.
And it's pretty rough to see these people have to go through all the hard times and struggles and all. So we were pretty fortunate to learn early what we're up against and stuff and all. But the one thing we were able to do is, and I'll give all the credit to Guy Cormier. Guy had a solution. He came up with this idea. He said, look, let's try to pass a bond. We don't have the funding. A lot of people think, when you think about Lafayette, they're operating on a $500,000, they got $400,000 budgeted for the parish. God knows how much for the city. In St. Martin Parish, we got $38 million. That's what our annual budget comes down to. So we were able to go out and to the taxpayers, we put it out there and they were able to pass a millage. And we did a $20 million bond. With that $20 million bond, we were able to do the Joe Day Canal or other projects in the parish that helped, but that helped quick and was very, very fast producing projects that made a solution to some of these problems. One of the things that was done in my district, we were able to dredge the Catahoula Lake. Catahoula Lake, a lot of people think, Catahoula, it benefits Catahoula. And it's not so much for Catahoula as it is the people on this end of the parish,
right,
all the way to the top of the north end of the parish in Mr. Richard's district, as far as St. Landry Parish. 2/3 of the water in this nation comes down the Mississippi River.
Yep.
30% of that water is diverted into the Atchafalaya Basin. We also get water from the Red River that comes down through Alexandria and stuff that gets passed in Bayou Catawba. All that water comes down. When it can't go into the basin area, it comes down Bayou Ami. So a lot of the problems we had with the flooding was the backwater flooding in Catahoula. When the water gets over there and we get to a certain point, it would back flood there. But we were flooded here. A lot of people make jokes and stuff, and they say, "Well, yeah, it saved Pats of Henderson, you know, the restaurant." Pats of Henderson, let me tell you, when you got water in the restaurant at Henderson,
It's bad.
yeah, we've got 600-700 homes that have water in their house.
Yeah.
Right down. So that bond was a big thing that we were able to do. We also were able to upgrade our parks. $5 million of that went to park upgrades, and we did a big project in Cecilia, adding, you know. And I was able to do the Catahoula Park, where we were able to build a rec building there. We redid the restroom and the concession stand area. We did new playground equipment. So we really upgraded the parish a whole bunch. So I was real proud and to be part of that and, you know, and stuff and get that done. The second thing I'm real proud of, that the parish, again, the voters, because unlike some with local government, we can't raise your taxes. All we can do is approve it to send it to the voters to allow them to make that decision if they want to do it. And the voters came back to us and said that because they passed the road tax, the 1 cent road tax.
Yep.
There's a misconception when it comes to road tax. A lot of people think that road tax covers all roads in St. Martin Parish, and it doesn't. We're only responsible for the parish roads. The incorporated areas of the parish do not pay that 1 cent sales tax. So you got St. Martinville, you got the Village of Parks, you got the Burbridge City, you got Henderson. All these municipalities don't pay for this, so it's all the outside. So we only use the money to do the outside projects. And we're getting ready to start a project now that's going to be coming up. We're going to be doing partnership with Burbridge City, the Old Melastone extension, from the roundabout to the Mack dealership. We're going to be doing a total reconstruction of that road.
Oh, wow.
I want to say it came in at 1.2 million. I think
That
it's
ain't too
1.2. No, and some of that area, the road is not as bad as the others, but it's bad.
It's a bad road.
So that road's getting done. We're going to be doing Section 28 road. We're going to be doing Herman Dupuy Road in Burbridge High School Road, Bourdon Road in this area. And there's a couple of roads on the north end of the parish that we're going to be doing. But that's going to be done in 2 phases. The first phase will be this year. Second phase will go out for bid and be approved with this council that's here to start next year after grinding is over. So our tax generates about $3 million a year, roughly. Problem is this year, the last couple of years, we had a lot of bridges go out on us.
Yeah.
We had the bridges this in road. We had 4 Mile Bayou in Lower St. Martin Parish. We just recently had Grand Wall Bridge go out. That just came in. We opened bids last week. Bids were awarded. That bid came in at $417,000. So, and that has to come out of our road tax money. So when we finished, when it was all said and done, we had to take about $1 million to $1.5 million out of there to repair bridges. So the good news is there is funding, and with the new tax and all. The bad news is what we were hoping to do was we would have liked to have done what Scott did when they first passed the tax initially. They were able to bond their money and go out and do all the roads. And that was our idea to get done. Problem with all that was we couldn't do it because interest rates are so high. If we would go out and bond the whole thing out, we wouldn't have anything to keep up for maintenance, and we'd only get to do two-thirds of our projects. So kind of like balancing your checkbook at your home,
Yep.
you know, you got to do what you got to do, and we don't want to go to banks, and we ain't looking to borrow money. We're looking to just, you know, make this parish run on what we can afford to do.
Yeah, you got to try to run it on a budget that helps out just not your voters, but also
Right.
everyone that will come visit and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, Chad, you talking about this with roads and all that like that. A lot of people would ask me why you have a parish councilman. We heard all over the country, and we call a parish council. You have county councilmen
Right.
outside the state. But local politics is very important to the community. Yeah, a lot of people like seeing the president's race or the governor's race. Those are big hot topics.
Right.
But you got to go out there and vote for your local officials too, because you're a conservative, and imagine if the whole state's conservative, but your parish council isn't, or your county council, that's the bedrock of this country is local politics.
Yeah, you know, most people don't stop to realize that, but not everybody's going to use the sheriff. I mean, most people, you know, if they're law-abiding citizens and don't have problems going on there, you know, I mean, not to say the sheriff's not important. He's probably one of the most important figures
Yep.
we have in the parish. But not everybody reaches out to the sheriff. Everybody drives on roads. Everybody's got drainage issues. The libraries, the fire stations, health units, parks and recreation. That all comes down to your local government. So the one person you contact more than anybody else is going to be your parish councilman. You know, and your parish councilman's job and obligation to go is to see what the needs are in his area, bring those needs forward to the rest of the council, address that with the parish president, work on coming up with solutions and ideas of how to pay for these things and how to get them done. And we've been fortunate in St. Martin Parish. We've had some good council members come across. We've pretty much been very conservative. We've never been in a position since the history of parish government has started that we were ever broke or we were in the red. You know, we've always been able to manage our money and keep our stuff, you know, pretty prioritized what needs to be done and get them done. I'll tell you one thing we do that a lot of people don't know. We have video poker in St. Martin Parish. It doesn't matter if you have 2 video parlors or if you have 10. It'll generate you about $1 million a year.
Wow.
On our share. So what we do with the money that we receive from there, that money is not spent. That money is put aside for the following year. That's our hurricane preparedness money. That's our little cash cow. So if we hit a floodings or we hit hurricanes or anything, we don't have to wait for FEMA to come here to bail us out. We can start helping ourselves before, to where it's not a lot of money to get started, but it's enough to cover the cap and what we have to come up with in our side of the, you know, the matches and stuff, the way it helps us. And if we don't use it, it goes into a fund called Excess Video Poker. Excess Video Poker can be used for road projects, for funding of the jail. Parish government owns the jail. We own every government building in the parish is owned by and maintained by the St. Martin Parish government. A lot of people think that the sheriff department is responsible for the jail, and they're not. We're responsible for feeding, medicating, clothing, everything for those prisoners. The jail is ours. We own the jail. Courthouse, same thing. We pay the tab on that. We got to pay. That's out of your local tax dollars. So you know, with $30 million, it doesn't go very far. But when you got the right people budgeting and managing the money, and so far we've been good accountants of our money, and we've done the right thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And look, you're not the only one. Dean, who's running for parish president, yeah. You have a couple of guys on that council. Y'all do a great job in St. Martin Parish, and even with some of our troubles, we have the issues with Lafayette Parish a little bit, but hopefully that gets solved real soon. But that's something that local government. I can't go to Lafayette Parish and argue that. That's something that y'all need to take care of. And I know Dean's my councilman, because it's funny where we live at right here, District 8 and District 5 meet up. But you know, I had an issue with something. Dean took care of it, and you know that's what it's about. Y'all taking care of us.
You know, we voted and elected on by districts, by stuff, but pretty much all the council members agree and all, and we don't have a problem. Look, I was born and raised in Grand Anse. Cecilia's where I went to school. Dean was born and raised where I served where he grew up, and he serves where I grew up. And we got a pretty good understanding. If there's something that goes wrong in his district, and you know, people call me because they know me, you know, we reach out to each other and we try to make sure that at the end of the day it's about taking care of the parish and not drawing about the lines and stuff. So we're pretty good on that. One thing you just brought up about this, referring to the small bank issues, there's not a whole lot we can talk about because it's in litigation and stuff, but just for your listeners to know, we didn't drop the ball on this thing. Before those small banks even were removed, Mayor Gilroy and them went and tried to get the permits to do it, and they weren't successful. So at that point, they dropped it. But Chester, being an old attorney from the country and everything, he don't just forget about things too easy. Chester started looking into this and started making plans, and we had addressed another attorney firm that handles those kind of situations, and they are representing us in this case. Josh Gilroy did file suit against us and the Corps Engineers in District 15, which is Judicial 15, is Lafayette Parish. Well, that case has been dismissed by a judge magistrate for hours, and 2 weeks ago it was dismissed on the federal court on their side against the Corps Engineers. So we have filed suit in the 16 JD. We have a judge that's been appointed to the thing, to the case, and we are going to be saw to be pretty soon. They can start doing depositions, and they are moving forward. But we haven't forgotten about the people in Cypress Island. We haven't dropped the case. I mean, we in full litigation with it and all. It's a slow process. It's the judicial system, the wheels turn very slow. If we'd like to see it work a lot faster, but it's out of our control. So. And
that's how the founding fathers wanted. They wanted to make sure that they make the right decision on that. So Chris, going forward, you know, you have 4 more years. What you have planned for 4 more years in your side of the council?
On my side of the council, in the next 4 years, we got our road tax money. So we want to start redoing our roads, and hopefully, if our country's not in the right leadership, in my opinion, I think we need to change leaderships. I think, we're going to see a leadership in Washington change and hopefully for the better. I think interest rates will start going down. Once interest rates start going down, if we can, we'll bond the money out to do the road projects. If not, at that point, we'll see where we're at and we'll just continue doing it the way we're doing it. It's going to be a little bit slower process, but, man, our country's not in the best of shape right now.
No. You're a regular listen to the show. I get when my face starts turning red.
Yeah. And, I'm going to be honest with you. Local government, sometimes it looks like everything's, it's a cluster, everything's messed up and all. And I mean, when you look at it on the parish and state and local, I mean, I think we're doing a decent job and we're trying to do what's right for the people. And like I said, we've never put ourselves in the red. Man, you got to run this country like you run your household. That's how I feel. First thing you did when you took God out of classrooms.
Yep.
Our country was founded on God. It was built on that. I don't care what you believe in. You got to have an explanation for why we're here.
Yep.
And I think the country's headed down the wrong thing. It seems like when I was a young boy, everything they told me that was bad, they're telling you now it's good. And it's just we need to regroup. I think the silent majority is going to come out this round. I think a lot of people are frustrated with the way things are going. I think it's going to get better. Our state, I think, is going to be headed in the right direction. I'm openly out supporting Jeff Landry. I think Jeff's the guy to do the job. Jeff came in there as Attorney General, and he was able to do things that most people never wanted to do. Not that he couldn't do, that nobody else wanted to do, and Jeff did them. I think Liz was a big part of that. I think with Liz and Jeff as governor, we'll have a good team over there in Baton Rouge fighting. I think Blake Miguez, I'm supporting Blake Miguez. I think Blake is qualified. Blake says everything I want to hear and everything I want to see happen. He goes over that. He's one of us, man.
Yeah.
He cares about this country.
Yeah, we had him a couple of weeks ago over here. I think maybe a week ago.
Yeah.
Time flies so fast for me. But yeah, Blake, I like Blake. Jeff's my number one right now. But I'm not gonna lie, Wags is a close second too.
Yeah.
So I like both of them. I think we're any one of those candidates that are up for governor will be better than Sean Wilson and John Bell Edwards, in my opinion. So
we definitely listen. I'm an independent. I've been an independent for a long time. I ran as an independent, won as independent, stayed as independent. I got people that tell me all the time that's in the Republican Party, man, you're one of the most conservative guys we know. Why aren't you in the Republican Party? I say, look, as soon as you start getting rid of them rhinos, I'm jumping on. I just feel independence is the way to, for me to go right now. But I can't really pull a lever for a Democrat anymore.
No.
It's just we trusted them, we believed in them, and it's not this. Back in the day when my grandfather was alive, and we had an old blue dog Democrats in Louisiana, and got things done. We worked across the aisle, and they got things accomplished, and you don't have that anymore.
So I got a question on that because I don't know if you're a Donald Trump guy or Ron DeSantis. See, I'm a Ron DeSantis guy.
Yeah.
Right? Donald Trump's my second guy if I had to pick someone else. But on that side, you talk about blue dog Democrats. Do you think Robert Kennedy has a shot on the Democrat side? Because you're talking about blue dog Democrats, that's blue dog all the way, and he has a reputation. I call him the Donald Trump of the Democrat Party because that's a storm over there on the Democrat side.
Yeah, he follows his brother's footsteps. He's pretty conservative guy. He doesn't vote and he doesn't act like a Democrat.
No.
He's kind of like some of the rhinos that are Republicans that should be Democrats. He's one of those Democrats that should be Republican, I think. I like him a lot. I think he'd be great for the Democratic side. I wish he was. Then we'd have a no-win situation, no-lose situation.
Right.
Because no matter who the Republican nominee is, well, I can't say who the nominee is. There's a few of them in the Republican side I don't think are very good. I like Ron DeSantis. I do. I like what he's done for Florida. He's put that state where they need to be, and he's a very conservative guy, and he's not as opinionated as Trump is. Look, I love what Trump has to say. I love the way what he accomplishes. Sometimes his mission of getting it out there might be a little different. But I think at the end of the day, the way it's going, if Trump was to have to back out or he was able to back out this race for some reason, I think Ron DeSantis is the guy that we need. That's who would be my second choice.
Or Vic Ramaswamy. That's a younger version of Donald Trump right there. That's what I got from the last debate.
Yeah. The last debate, I'm going to tell you, I watched the debate and everything, and I thought Nikki Haley did the best in the debate out there. She was pretty good.
She was a firecracker. She was a firecracker. like I said, out of the best part was between her and Ranasamy.
Yeah.
That I hope I'm saying his name right, but anyway, they went ahead toe to toe, and that was one of the highlights of that. So Parish Council though, 4 years after we have a parish race right now,
right,
for our president. Two good conservatives are in there. I'm not gonna ask you who to endorse because we all know these people, but Chester's coming out, and Chester was a good fit for the parish. Do you? What about you going forward? After 4 years, if
Chester came in here, and what Chester brought to the table was something that Guy and Scott wasn't able to bring. Was Chester, his weakest part was public works and stuff like that, because he had, that wasn't his strong point. But the most important thing Chester brought was he was our attorney from the beginning of time. He also was attorney for Charles August. He was the attorney for school board. He represented a bunch of municipalities in Bridge and different ones. And Chester was to me, he's probably one of the most knowledgeable guys out there when it comes to government law. A lot of people might not realize this, but Chester left us. He left parish government for about 8 months. When Jeff became Attorney General, he went to work for Jeff in Baton Rouge. And he handled some stuff for Jeff and helped things get started over there. Then he came back, and the deal was he was going to go for a year, and then he wasn't planning there to stay forever. He just wanted to go. So Chester brought a lot to the table. The guys that are running right now for parish president, look, Dean and I have a good relationship. We sat on the council for 8 years together. Dean's smart enough to do the job. I think, he's capable of doing it. Pete Delcom, I really didn't know Pete that well. And I got to know him. I've talked to him, met with him a few times. He's well qualified.
Yeah.
Very qualified. I mean, he ran a bank. He construction company. He did his business. Actually, when I first got on the council, we were trying to get people to do stuff in the park, and we were having trouble because a lot of guys don't have insurance and they're not bonding and stuff, and you got to be insured and bond. Pete had his little construction company, and we need some fencing work done, and he did the first job for us over there. So I got to know him and work with him on that. Very smart fella. School board brought him in to handle some of their major projects and stuff over there, and he did him a good job. I've talked to people at the school board that like him a whole bunch. I think we're in a pretty good situation where we're going to be, one way or the other, we're going to be all right. I don't know how long a commitment these guys are going to give us, but I'm there for 4 more years, and after 4 years, I won't be able to run back because I'll be term limit. And look, I 100% agree with term limits. I think it's the greatest thing ever.
Yep, me too.
Every once in a while, you might lose a good one due to term limits, but you know what? If that guy was as good as he was, he'll stay involved. He'll work with the next one's coming in and try to help him. You bring in that fresh new blood, fresh ideas, people come in there with, it's a good thing. I'm all for term limits. And, everybody said, well, you're going to find out what term limits are about. Look, I'm happy. I did my 12 years. I was glad. What happens with the future from here? I don't know. I'm never closing the door opportunity. We'll see what happens in 4 years. We'll see what positions will open or what I do. Shit, I might be running with my little granddaughter to baseball games. We'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that, I had somebody ask me to run for RPEC, and I was like, look, not right now. I think I'm doing good on this microphone more, but yeah, you just gotta wait and see. I just had to ask, for 4 years. 4 years. 4 years though, you already have a standing date. You're gonna have to come here and tell me.
Well, you'll be the first one to know if I decide to do something. Either way, if I decide to run with my granddaughter, play baseball, or run for a different position, I'll let you know. But it's funny. I tell people this all the time. Troy Hebert was our senator. Me and Troy were best of friends. And I served as a legislative assistant to Troy in the Senate, and we did most of the agriculture bills on his side. And Troy always told me, look, never close the door to opportunity, keep it open and stuff, and you never know what's going to happen. And he was a big part of me getting into politics and everything. But I enjoy what I did. I served in the governor's task force for the Chafalaya Basin. Me along with Shervin Collette and Jody Mesh and a couple other guys, local guys, we were one of 12 voters out of a 30 panel that went throughout the state, and some of these projects are paying off. We're doing the Dixie Pipeline project right now, and we're going to be doing some more projects in the basin. So I enjoyed what I did, and it's been good, and I'm looking for the next 4 years, and we'll see what happens after that.
Hey, that's as long as you keep on going good, you won't hear me.
Well, and I guess that's a good thing, Yeah, but I tell people all the time, but listen, before I got into politics, I was always involved in politics. But before I got into an elected position, I tell people, look, It used to be a whole lot easier to stir the pot than to actually have to bake a cake. When you're baking
Yeah.
a cake, you gotta watch not to burn that thing.
Yeah, and that like I said, y'all got me on your heels every so often. So,
yeah. But that's a good thing, you know. People, we need to be accountable, you know.
Yep.
Sometimes we think we're doing the right thing and all that, and we might be doing the right thing, but somebody else might come in there with a better idea, and that's what your constituents are there for. They're there to keep you in line and make sure that you work with them and all. And it's not about calling people out and saying that you're doing a bad job or you're doing something wrong. It's when you hear somebody, listen, we got 9 districts in this parish, and I serve with 8 different council members, and I can tell you, you would not believe this, and that this is one of the most important things I've learned serving on the council. Every district is different. What happens in my district might not work in Tangent Norris's district. What happens in my district might not work in Brook Champon's district. You know, a lot of people don't realize that the cash cow for St. Maureen Parish, our biggest economic port is the Cade Community Center, that industrial park, that area there. That's where our bread and butter is. That's where money comes in from. That's the biggest collections we have. And so everybody's district is a little bit different, and everybody's opinion, it might not be as valuable, it might not be as important to you as it is to them, but everybody should be vetted out and listened to.
And then this year, going on to the 4 years, you're going to have new faces, especially in District 8. You're going to have a new parish president. You're going to have a lot of new things. So that
we know we got 2 new districts coming for sure with Brook Champagne, running back, and you got Mark Thibodeau and Corey Melisson, I think 2 good guys. Blaine, and then Dean's old district, you got Blaine and you got Ben Clay, and all 2 really good guys are there. I mean, so I think it's a win-win situation. No matter what happens in the parish, I think things are looking good.
Yeah, it's looking good in our parish.
Yeah.
So, Chris, if anybody wants to get in touch with you about anything, how to get in touch with you?
Same phone number I've had since I got elected and before, 277-3563. Call me. Most people know where I live. One thing, I work in the parish. I'm local. I'm available. I'm here all the time. If there's anything I can do, look, inside of my district, outside my district, whatever I can do, I'm willing to help, man. I just want to make sure that our parish keeps moving forward and not behind, and just keep doing what we're doing.
October 14th, you going to any parties or what?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully going to the governor's party, and we got something going on there.
Yep,
but
we got a announcement on that coming up soon. We're going to be doing a 3-hour program like we did for the candidates. So. The midterm elections. So we're going to be either in here or we're going to be somewhere live videotaping. So
look, I want to tell you, I appreciate everything you do here.
Thank you.
Get the voice out. I'm not everybody's a big Moongaphone supporter and everything, but I like listening to Moon. I like listening to some of them guys because they're local guys and they keep you up to date with what's going on, and especially what you're doing here. You're local. You're right here, and you're keeping everybody abreast of what's going on. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Chris, thank you for coming on, man. We're going to have to schedule it again soon.
Not a problem. Anytime you want me on, I'll come on.
You live right down the road, so you good. So.
I can run across the sugar cane field and be here in 5 minutes. So
you like the old days, running your bare feet.
Yeah, not a big problem.
Chris, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ozzy.
That was Chris Tauzin. He is the District 5 Parish Councilman here in St. Maureen Parish. He gave out his number. If you have any questions, if you live in St. Maureen Parish, you can always call him. Until next time, remember that Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. If you know Jesus, your Lord and Savior, reach out to me. I'll tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and heaven your home. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good one.